Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever one it happens to be for you. Please excuse my voice. I've caught myself a bit of a cold. So yes, the transfer window has now closed. And I'm going to be going through what I think about this transfer window and giving it a bit of a rating, and also where we're going to finish in the league. So let's first talk about the more positive sides of things. Of course, we got Xavi Simons. We look at his stats. It's pretty good, to be honest with you. The stats I know obviously aren't in England. We got to say thank you to the scumbags, because it all worked out, really. He is young, and I do think that he has got a higher ceiling and has definitely got room to improve. I would rate that as a really good signing. I would say that for me, that is someone that we needed to add to the team. So I'm very, very happy with that signing. Then you've got Moani, who did come in a bit late in the day. When you look at him statistically, he is a bit of an up and down player, but however, he has definitely got some fantastic attributes which I think will be good for us, and I do think it's a good deal because it is somebody that we really did need again, what with the injury of Solanke. So I feel like that's someone we had to get. I know that people are a bit kind of worried because of the lack of buy clause, and I think there's nothing really to worry about. I don't think we should worry. It could be that the club didn't want it, and if that's the case, then that means that it was down to the club and not down to him not wanting to be here. I would again rate that fairly high. I'm quite pleased with that. I wouldn't say it was probably someone that I expected us really to get. So I wouldn't say it was probably my top signing of the season, of the summer, sorry. But I would say it was a pretty pretty good one, seeing as we needed him. Then we're going to go on to the new contract for Romero, which I think is fantastic. We all said if he was going to be our captain, he needed to sign that contract. So for me, I think that is fantastic business by the club to get him to sign another contract. I would rate that very highly when it comes to the grand scheme of things. And then we've also got Jed Spence, who also signed another contract, which again I think is fantastic. I know that he has been a bit up and down when it comes to being in the team, but it seems like now he's getting his settled place, and that the manager has really relied on him, and I think sees him as a starter in the team. Again, I would rate that quite highly, to be honest with you. I think it is a really good thing to get him to sign the contract. Then we're going to move on to Kudus. I think Kudus has been absolutely incredible since he's come in. He's been fantastic. Even better to see the West Ham fans crying about it, especially as they told us he wasn't any good and he was rubbish. So yeah, when you look at him statistically so far, I think he has been really good. We did have an off game, but I think everybody had an off game the other day. But mostly he has been great, and again, it's a fantastic deal because of the price of him. I think it was a fantastic deal. I would rate this highly. We needed him in that position, and we needed somebody who was going to take on their man, who was strong, powerful, all of those things, and skillful. And I think that Kudus covers all of that, if I'm completely honest. Then we're going to talk about Paulinho. I think Paulinho coming in was something that everybody was shouting from the rooftops about, needing that number 6. Although he hasn't been fit, because he hasn't been playing that many games, so far I think so good. I think he has been good. He has been good for us, and you can see what a difference it makes. I think he will do good at Tottenham, and we'll have to wait and see if we actually do keep him. Again, I would rate this quite highly. I think it is a good deal. I'm not going to lie, I think it is a good deal. And then we're going to move on to Koto Dakai and Mavis Tell. I think them two have been a bit of a one with the fans that haven't always pleased everybody. We have to just wait and see. I think with both of them, one of them isn't fit, and Tell, I think he will come good. I think that he showed signs of it, but we'll have to wait and see if he can be coached by Thomas Frank. So rating, I wouldn't rate this majorly highly in our business wise, but I would say it was okay business. Let's talk about the exits and the loans. Of course, we sold our man Sonny. What a guy, what a captain. Can't speak highly enough of him. I did do a video about it, about how I felt about him. We did late in the day also sell Brian Hill, which again, he's been at the club a very long time, and it was definitely time for him to leave. Then we've got all of our first team loans, as you can see, and then our under 21s loans. So you can see quite a lot of our players are on loan. I know that some of you expected maybe for us to sell someone like Basuma, but the window is actually still open in other countries, so there's still a possibility that some players might still be moved on. We'll have to wait and see. So let's talk about the not so good stuff. So we had the Morgan Gibbs White situation, which, yeah, it was not great. Again, I spoke about it on my video about what I think happened, but he did actually speak out. He spoke to Thomas Frank and apologised, and when he came out, he said it was due to his family, which is completely understandable because his wife was pregnant and she had complications. So I think that at the end of the day, I can completely understand why he made the choices that he did. I would probably rate that obviously as a negative, definitely for sure, but not a big negative, because I do think that it was something that it wasn't to do with the club. I think that it was to do with him and his personal choices in the situation that he was in, and he did what he thought was best. Let's talk about Eze. Again, I did a video about what I thought about it if you want to get my full thoughts. But he always wanted to go to Arsenal. He rung up Arteta. So for me, I don't want no one at my club who doesn't want to be here. So I would actually not rate that to a negative. I would say that we dodged an actual bullet, if I'm honest, because I feel like that he didn't want to be at Spurs, and so I'm not too bothered. The other negative I would say is that it's not good with our planning. I think that we did a lot of stuff last minute, which doesn't really help Thomas Frank out at all. That is definitely not good. I'm not going to say that is good. So I do think that goes towards a bad thing on the window. Also, quickly, let's talk about these ITKs. I think that they have been talking the absolute load of nonsense this summer. So many of them been caught out absolutely talking waffle. So I think that they have definitely tarnished their reputation in what they do. So, they've definitely talked a lot of waffle. So, if I'm going to rate it overall with the negatives, the positives, I would say a 6.5 out of 10. That's because I do feel like that we, although we got some really good business done, I do feel like there's still some gaps in the team, and I do feel like we could have probably done a little bit more. I think that's probably a fair way of looking at it. When it comes to where I think we will finish in the league, I think this has probably made us 9th to 7th and to go far in the cups. I think that's reasonable expectation for Thomas Frank in his first season with the players that we've got, considering, like I say, the gaps that could cause us problems if we get injuries. So yeah, I think that is probably fair. So please let me know what you think overall about the window and where you think we're going to finish now the window has shut in the league. Obviously, we still have got January to get any players in if we need be, but still, I still think that it is unlikely we'll finish any higher up, in my humble opinion. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you smash that like button, and we'll speak again real soon.